Stand by.
Hey, what's up, all you awesome people? I'm back out here at the range. Shot that PRS match I was so excited about this past Saturday, and it didn't go well at all.
All right, today we're going to cover another variation of the fuck around and find out graph. In previous lessons, we have referred to this gradient line as the constant, which represents a 1-to-1 ratio of fucking around to finding out.
I guess I fucked around and found out. I was out here that Wednesday before doing all that load test, trying to get a 2750 projectile, which I did. And before I left, I was kind of puzzled about how things were working out with it, because 250 yards was on and 300 yards the dope was off, 400 yards was on. I was confused, so I ended up having to drop my feet per second to correlate where that bullet was impacting, which didn't make sense to me at all. But when you're shooting it, I'm at 2.5 and at 2650 feet per second, this is saying 2.09. I'm gonna have to drop this down to, like, let's go 24, see what it says. Let's go 2460. 2470 is 2.5. That's the reading for it, y'all. On the app, in order to correlate with actual drop on this thing, I've got it way down. Got it set at 2470 feet per second for a bullet that's traveling 2750, 2740. It did, it worked out, so I went with it. I knew where I was going, didn't have internet service, so the night before the match I printed out a big drop chart based upon that adjusted feet per second, and it was off. And once I got started, I couldn't do anything about it to change it, because I was out there, I had it all figured out. I thought how wrong I was, and then I was stuck with all that bad data. So it was a terrible match. Got one coming up next weekend. I hope to redeem myself, but I'm going to come out here and just verify to make sure this was messed up now as much as it was on Saturday. So we're going to shoot some distances here and see what we get on results. I'm going to verify the distance, 250 yards to that first plate. And so if I put this in that Hornady app, and some of these variables may have got bumped or changed on this Hornady app before I wrote all this stuff down, and therefore had tainted info. Edit variables. I had it set at 2460, and this is shooting 2750, actually 2740. So let's put in 2740 and see if it works at 250 yards. It calls for 0.72. There's 5, 6, 7. Check this out, see what happens. And we're going to do a judo chop review today.
Also has an infection.
I got this little accessory for my singlet level, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Here we go, 250 yards. Tagged a little low right, it looks like, I think. Now I may have switched that data off some bad loads, therefore messing up the rest of the good loads too. I think that's probably what happened from the looks of things. Try that again. Miss. That was a miss. Completely missed that 10-inch plate aiming at the center. Then I center punch it. Shooting another one. Center punch it. Center punch it. Huh. Very interesting. Got that orange gong at 425, 424. Well, let's keep this same foot per second in there and see if this works. Calls for 2.05. Just go 2 and see if we're on at 425 yards. Crushed it. So something happened Wednesday that was off, making me readjust my variables and unfortunately I selected the wrong variables. Man, I was so lost. I got out there, started shooting, and then just got frustrated and flustered, and then I lost all my shit, man. I kept forgetting what to do. After 2 shots, you're supposed to move. I'd rack a third in. They're like, hey, you gotta move. Like, my head was out of it. So let's shoot another one at 425. But once that happened, though, there wasn't anything I could do about it. I couldn't switch anything. I was stuck with bad data the rest of the day. What a waste of money and time. I just knocked it off the hanger. It's right on the money. So the app was correct. Must have had some bad batches. I don't know. I don't know what happened to cause me to change my stuff on that the other day. See if I hit Mr. Coyote. Yeah. You might hit him again. Hi. I may not be all wrong on this, you all, because I'm getting the inconsistencies at distance.
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
There, hit it. Right over it again. So this whole theory that I'm going to get a 2750 load out of this probably not going to work out. I'm going to speed it up today. I got a big ladder test, 5-shot groups. There it is. I'm just lighting it up at 250 to 425 yards. Got me. Something happened. Something was wrong. We're going to start all over today. Instead of doing 3-shot groups, I'm doing 5-shot groups. We're starting at 40.6 grains. H4350. Cartridge overall length is 2.83. I did find my lands yesterday. Kind of a rudimentary way to find it, but the only way I knew how to. My lands are at 4.87. We're loaded up today at 4.83. So I'm going to drag this down to the 100-yard line. We'll get a target up. I'll bring you along, and then we'll do a judo chop review. Stay tuned. All right, we're continuing on with the theme of known enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be good, I guess. We're out here shooting the 25 Creedmoor again. I got 10 different loads. One of these days I'll figure it out, or just be happy with something, but I don't mind doing this. I have fun doing it. I enjoy shooting. I enjoy making things accurate and tinkering with things like that. Hopefully this lab radar doesn't give me any fits today. I think I figured it out last time I was here shooting, of how to get this thing consistent and working. Hopefully. And hopefully I didn't jinx myself. Alright. I have 10 different loads. Then I jump on up to 42.5, thinking this thing may have the need for speed.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
40.6, like I said, I'm not going to take you long for every shot, but we'll get to shooting here and I'll show you the end results and go through the numbers. Stay tuned. We're on 40.8. I'm going to run 2 groups on this. I loaded up 10 for whatever reason. All right, I just ran the test. These 43.1s, it's too hot. I'm having heavy bolt lift on that. You can see a little shiny spot on the edge of the brass there. The primers look fine. There's a slight cratering there. So 43's out. Unfortunately, I had some primer strikes that didn't go bang. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 2 different loads there. Probably didn't get them seated right. It's not the gun's fault, I don't think. It's definitely my fault, but got some interesting numbers here. We'll go down and take a look at the target and I'll read them off real quick. 40.6, we had average feet per second 2850, ES 36, SD 17. 40.7, average 2846, ES 21, SD 8. 40.8, average 2844, ES 21, SD 8. Second 40.8 group was 2851, ES 38, SD 14. Those were back-to-back, same load shot. Interesting numbers. Next was 40.9, 2839. It's weird how the feet per second change lower. ES 19, SD 7. 41.5, 2891, ES 36, SD 14. 41.7, 2903, ES 25, SD 9. 41.9, 2895, ES 5.39. I'm going to, instead of rounding it up, I'm going to read the whole thing. 5.39, SD 3.1. That was a 3-shot group. I had a primer miss on that. The next is a 4-shot group. 42.5 grains. Feet per second average is 2946. ES 6, SD 2.8. Shows some promise there. 42.7 is the 3-shot group. Again, I had a bad primer on this, or bad load. 42.7 grains, average is 2936. ES 14, SD 7. And that's a 3-shot group. Man, I tell you what, they can shoot some 3-shot groups. 42.9 grains, 5-shot group. 2957, ES 22, SD 9. And last but not least is that 43.1, 2969 feet per second. ES 26, SD 11. Let's go down and take a look at the groups. Okie dokie. I figured, you know what, I'm gonna shoot what this rifle wants to shoot, not what the feet per second is and the recoil impulse and all that. I want it to shoot well, and it will have a load that it shoots well. I just haven't found it yet. I mean, I shot several nice groups with it, don't get me wrong, but I need to get some consistency in here. It's interesting though, 40 grains to 39 grains. I had some really great groups with it, but I wasn't pleased with the performance of it. Just a mystery. Anyhow, let's take a look at these. 40.6 5-shotters, 40.7, 40.8, second 40.8. I got off on this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever the case, there you go. Oh, let's see. This is 40.9. This one's 41.5, 41.7, 41.9. It's 3-shot group. This is where I started having primer problems. 42.5, 42.7, 42.9, 43.1. That 43.1's, it's too hot. Had heavy bolt lift on that. Anything over 43 or above, I think, is out of the picture. One of these days I'll get a fancy primer, but one of these days I'll get a fancy powder dispenser. One of these days I'll get a fancy Kestrel. That's what I need, is a Kestrel. I think that would help a lot with a lot of things, but you know, you add all those up, you're about 2,500 bucks for all those nice things. So I'll just deal with what I have for now and add when I can. Let's get to the Judo Chop review. All right, this is the Brandt built ocular housing anti-cant indicator. 5,000. It goes on your send it level. This housing slips off. There's the original, and the original has the little bubble on top, which is nice because my battery ran out today on this, but because it didn't have a bubble on this, it's kind of screwed. But when you slide this on, just like that, has fiber optic piping. This is a shrink tube that comes with it. And then this little housing goes on your eyepiece. Can't tell if the lights are blinking. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this out of the sun. So the level's right in the green, obviously. And what this does, this housing, so typically you have your send it level up here on your scope. But when you have a dope card on your scope, things get busy up here when you got a card reader. Also, sometimes when you're looking down here and it's just the level up here, yeah, you have to keep two eyes open because your left eye picks it up, and actually your brain, whatever it does with your peepers, it'll put that light in your scope when you have two eyes open. However, sometimes if you're too close, too far away, your brain doesn't pick it up, or your eyeballs don't compute it exactly, and it misses the scope. So what this does is it brings those lights right under your eye on the eyepiece. That way, when you're looking down there, it's right there. 2 judo chops is the highest score you can get. Sometimes you get a Bruce Lee add-on. That's not going to be the case today. For the cool factor, I give it 2 judo chops. Hoya, hoya! I'm not going to give it the extra Bruce Lee because it is expensive for what it is, and I wish they would have had bigger fiber optic piping in there, because those little dots, for a feller that's getting older and farsighted, things up close, you know, I can pick it up on a sunny day. It's got a lot going on in your eyeball. I'll give it a solid 2 judo chops. I would have added a Bruce Lee if it wasn't so expensive and the lights were a little bit brighter. Other than that, it's pretty cool and it works great. It's pretty expensive for what it is. It's kind of cheap, and to charge that much, you know, doesn't seem right, but it's the only people making it. I imagine this guy has a patent on it of some sort, and good job for you, man. I hope you made your millions of dollars off of that little thing and sitting on a beach somewhere. It was a good idea.